It hits you sometimes, right?
Mm.
That feeling that the sheer volume of scientific papers coming out is just relentless,
Oh, absolutely.
like trying to drink from a fire hose.
Yeah.
If you're anything like our listener today, a dedicated researcher trying to stay on top of your field, you're probably feeling that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
It's a real challenge to cut through the noise and find what truly matters to your work.
Absolutely. And that sense of being overwhelmed isn't just, anecdotal. People have been writing about this for years.
Right. Research confirming what we all feel.
Exactly. It's this explosion of scientific literature, and it makes it so hard to, well, just keep up, let alone discover the really crucial findings.
Exactly. So how do you navigate that? What's the secret?
Oh.
What if there was a new tool specifically designed with researchers like you in mind? That's where Scholar Inbox comes in.
Oh,
It's
okay.
a new open access platform, and from what we've seen, it has the potential to really change how you stay informed.
It does sound promising. Scholar Inbox is aiming to be this central place, right, for personalized recommendations.
Mhm.
Continuous updates from places like Archive and Bayrock, which lots of people rely on,
Daily, yeah.
and even visual summaries of papers. Plus, semantic search, a conference planner, lots of features.
Okay, personalized recommendations. We've all heard that promise before.
True.
What makes Scholar Inbox different for you, our listener, compared to just, I don't know, setting up Google Scholar alerts or following folks on X1?
Yeah, or ResearchGate, LinkedIn.
Because let's be honest, that's what many of us are doing right now.
And that's a really important question. The Scholar Inbox creators point out some, well, fundamental limitations with those existing ways.
Like what?
Like relying on social media or networks like X1, it can unintentionally amplify certain voices, certain research.
Ah, based on popularity.
Exactly. Not necessarily relevance. Think about the Matthew effect, the idea that, the well-known get more visibility.
Right, the rich get richer, academically speaking.
Sort of, yeah. So you might see what's trending, but not necessarily the most groundbreaking work in your specific niche.
That definitely rings true. You see the same names, same institutions popping up constantly.
Right. Even if the paper isn't super relevant to what you're actually working on right now.
It's like academic clickbait sometimes.
Yeah.
So Scholar Inbox is deliberately trying to avoid that.
Precisely. They really emphasize that their recommendations are built only on the paper content itself and your direct feedback.
Your ratings. Thumbs up, thumbs down.
Exactly. Your ratings. It's a deliberate attempt to bypass those social and popularity biases. Plus, many current platforms recommend based on pretty broad topics.
Oh, yeah, tell me about it.
Which can just flood your inbox with stuff that's only tangentially related. You end up wading through pages of alerts that just don't hit the mark.
Guilty as charged.
Yeah.
It's like setting a fishing net for tuna and ending up with mostly seaweed and old boots.
Huh. Good analogy, yeah.
So Scholar Inbox is aiming for a much more targeted approach. And I see here in Table 1, they've compared their features to the usual suspects: Google, Scholar Alerts, Semantic Scholar, Arcs of Sanity.
Research Rabbit, Emoti.
Yeah. What stands out there?
Well, looking at that table, a few things jump out. Non-redundant results. That sounds incredibly useful.
Oh, definitely. Tired of seeing the same paper everywhere?
And integrating user ratings directly, the semantic search. But I think the paper maps feature and the public dataset release are particularly interesting.
Paper maps. Okay, intriguing. What are those? Why should our listener care? And a public dataset. Why is that a big deal?
Okay, let's take the paper maps first. Imagine like a visual map of all the science in their database.
Like a galaxy of papers.
Kind of. It's a 2D map where papers are positioned based on how semantically similar they are, meaning how close their meaning is.
Not just keywords.
Exactly. So you can see clusters of related research, explore connections visually, even across different domains.
Okay, that could be powerful.
Think of it less like a list, more like an interactive atlas of knowledge for the listener. This could surface unexpected links between fields you'd never connect with a keyword search, spark new ideas.
Interdisciplinary stuff.
Potentially, yeah. As for the public dataset, that's more for the research community. By releasing anonymized user ratings, they're helping others build better recommendation systems. They note there's a real lack of these kinds of datasets for research papers.
That map idea really clicks. Instead of just my little search box, I could visually stumble onto something related but unexpected.
That's the idea.
Cool. Now, back to personalized recommendations. You said it avoids social bias, just content and ratings. How does it learn what I care about?
It builds a unique recommendation model just for you.
My own little AI.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's trained on your positive and negative ratings when you sign up and as you keep using it.
So it gets smarter over time.
Supposedly, yes. It refines its understanding of your specific interests based purely on the substance of the papers you engage with. Doesn't care who wrote it, where it was published, just the science and your feedback.
Like a research assistant learning my taste, but only based on the papers themselves.
Yeah.
That's refreshing.
It is.
Okay, let's dive deeper into these scholar maps.
Yeah.
How does exploring this map actually help me discover things?
Right, so you're zooming around this map, you find an area that looks relevant,
Uh-huh.
you see these clusters of papers. Even if they use different words than you normally search for, being close on the map means they're semantically similar.
So, different jargon, same concept.
Exactly. Super useful for interdisciplinary work. And they overlay topic labels on the map, generated using a tool called Quinn.
Topic labels,
Yeah.
like machine learning.
Yeah, but hierarchical. Starts broad like computer science, then gets more specific machine learning, maybe down to convolutional neural networks.
Ah, like zooming in.
Precisely. It follows that old mantra. Overview first, zoom and filter, then details on demand.
Okay, I get it. Big picture, then drill down. And you mentioned this helps with the cold start problem for new users.
It does. When you're new, the system knows nothing about you. The map gives you a visual way to point to areas you're interested in.
Like pointing on a real map.
Kind of. You browse, find relevant fields, maybe click on a few example papers. That gives the system crucial starting points to build your model. It's like a visual menu before it starts suggesting specific dishes.
Makes sense. Gives the system some initial direction. Now, what about managing the papers? They mentioned collections.
Right. You can create these curated collections like playlists for your research or personal libraries.
Okay, useful for organizing.
But what's really neat is that Scholar Inbox can then find other papers semantically similar to your collections.
Ooh, okay. Like listeners also liked, but for papers.
Sort of, yeah. Huge time saver for lit reviews or really digging deep. You can also just type in free-form text about your current project.
And it finds similar papers.
Finds papers semantically similar to your description? Think how useful that is for finding missed citations or related work you didn't know existed.
That find missed citations feature is a potential game changer. We've all been there.
Absolutely.
And the conference planner. Focus on machine learning for now.
Yeah, currently major ML conferences. It helps you prioritize poster sessions, which can be totally overwhelming.
Tell me about it. So many posters, so little time.
It gives you a personalized, ranked list of posters based on your research interests as the platform understands them. You can bookmark ones you want to see.
Okay, that's practical.
And they plan to extend it to other fields later, which would be great.
A ranked list instead of wandering aimlessly, yes please.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the main feature, the daily digest, your regular updates.
Exactly. It's a daily or weekly ranked list of new papers predicted to be relevant to you. Figure 4 in the paper shows the mobile view pretty well.
What info do you get?
The essentials. Title, abstract snippet, authors, venue. The header is even color-coded for predicted relevance at a glance.
I'm looking at figure 4. Clean layout. I see the title, abstract, and interactive buttons at the bottom.
Yeah, thumbs up, down for rating.
Right, feeding the model.
Previews of figures and tables so you can quickly see if it's worth a click.
Smart. Visuals are key.
A button to find similar papers instantly. Options to bookmark or add to collections. Quick sharing, BibTeX export, it's all right there.
That's a lot of useful stuff packed in.
Yeah.
Seems very workflow-oriented.
Exactly. They want to make it easy to interact, refine your profile, explore related work, and integrate it all seamlessly. Plus, you can choose daily or weekly digests and even get a catch-up if you've been away.
Very user-friendly. So what's under the hood? What tech makes this all tick?
Figure 3 shows the pipeline. They're constantly pulling papers from preprint servers, conference proceedings.
The usual sources.
And they use a big research corpus called S2ORC to get updated author info, citations, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Then, to understand the content, they use a transformer model called GTE Large. It reads the title and abstract.
And turns it into numbers.
Essentially, yeah, an embedding, a numerical representation of the meaning. These embeddings capture the semantic essence.
The fingerprint you mentioned.
Right. And they store these in a high-performance index called NGT, which makes searching and comparing papers super fast.
So that's how they find similar papers quickly.
And for slower tasks, like pulling figures out of PDFs or creating embeddings for thousands of new papers, they use something called Celery, a distributed task queue. It runs stuff in the background so the site stays snappy for the user.
Or,
And the front end, what you see, that's React Material UI standard web tech. But for those Scholar maps,
yes, the cool visual part.
they use a library called DeepScatter. It's built for handling massive data sets, uses your graphics card.
GPU acceleration.
Yeah, makes the map smooth and interactive, even with millions of papers.
Wow, deep scatter. Sounds heavy duty. Okay, let's circle back to that cold start problem.
Yeah.
Maps help visually. Any other tricks for new users?
Yeah, besides the maps, you can bootstrap it by adding your own papers or papers by authors you follow. Just search an ad.
Gives us some immediate clues.
Right. But maybe the cleverest bit is their active learning framework.
Active learning.
After you give some initial interests, it doesn't just show random papers, it strategically picks papers for you to read.
How does it pick?
It prioritizes papers the system is most uncertain about for you, papers near the decision boundary, where it's not sure if you like it or not.
Wow, the tricky ones.
Exactly. Getting your feedback on those ambiguous ones helps it learn your preferences much faster. They call it stratified sampling.
So it's not just throwing darts. It's asking targeted questions to learn faster.
That's the idea. Much more efficient for a new user. And after each rating, your model updates immediately. Continuous improvement.
It really sounds like they've thought hard about the user experience. The paper mentions features coming from user surveys.
That's a crucial point they make, user-centric design. They aimed for a simple site structure, fewer clicks.
Minimizing friction.
And the Daily Digest helps build that habit of staying current. Their user study, with over 1,200 people,
Yeah, big study.
showed really positive results, high satisfaction with usability, the recommendations, the overall experience.
Any criticisms come out of that?
The main one was that the initial version didn't let you model separate research interests explicitly.
Like if I work on two different things.
Right. If you're into, say, neuroscience and AI, it initially treated that as one combined interest profile. But they acknowledge that and say they're working on addressing it.
Good that they're listening. What about actual usage? Are people sticking with it?
Retention rates.
Seems like it. They report about 8,000 active users in the last 30 days out of 23,000 registered.
That's what, around 35%?
Roughly, yeah. And that doesn't even count people just getting the email newsletter. That active rate suggests researchers are finding it genuinely useful and coming back.
Definitely speaks to its value. Okay, the paper gets pretty technical about the recommendation model itself. Anything super interesting there for a quick mention? Well, it's content-based, using logistic regression on your ratings, like we said. One neat thing is how they handle the rating imbalance. People tend to upvote more than downvote.
Right, positive bias.
They use something called weighted binary cross-entropy loss. It basically gives different weights to your upvotes, your explicit downvotes, and even random papers you haven't rated.
So it tries to balance things out intelligently.
Exactly. They also tested different ways to create those embeddings, TF-IDF, versus newer things like Spectre 2 and their choice, GTE large.
And GTE large 1.
Yeah, Table 2 shows it performed best for predicting user ratings. They also experimented with compressing the embedding.
Making them smaller.
Right, dimensionality reduction. Found they could shrink them down quite a bit to 256 dimensions without hurting performance much, which helps keep the system efficient.
Okay, so bringing it all together. Scholar Inbox sounds like a really well-comprehensive approach, trying to tackle that information overload problem head-on.
I think so.
More personalized, aiming to avoid biases, using neat features like the maps, the active learning, all focused on the user.
That's a good summary. It really tries to cut through the noise, deliver relevant research based on your interests, learn directly from you. Streamline things, help discovery, save time.
So, for you, our listener, that busy researcher trying to keep up Scholar Inbox, sounds like it could be a seriously valuable tool.
Potentially, yeah.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How could a tool like this, one that learns your specific interests so directly, how could that change scientific discovery itself? Collaboration.
That's the big question, isn't it? Maybe it fosters more of those unexpected cross-field connections. Helps people find crucial work just outside their bubble.
A fascinating prospect. It'll be interesting to see how platforms like this evolve and what impact they actually have.
Indeed. Very interesting times for managing research information.